В ходе последнего телефонного разговора с президентом Соединенных Штатов, господином Трампом,
During the last phone conversation with the President of the United States, Mr. Trump, we had a conversation on May 9th. By the way, he spoke about it very dignifiedly, in my opinion. He recalled our alliance in the general struggle against Nazism. I told him that I was planning to announce the 8th and 9th. Why the 8th? Because the 8th was in the West, and Ukraine joined in on this. Now, I think the 8th is also considered a day of victory, but this is not important. What is important is that President Trump actively supported this, and we announced it just a day later. We announced it. But as soon as we announced it, there was no reaction from anyone. A day or two later, when, apparently, people in Kyiv thought and realized for sure that this was supported by the administration of the United States, apparently, they decided to react to it for their own good. But how to react? To agree with our proposal? Apparently, they considered it unprofitable for them, and so they came up with another proposal. On the 6th, you know, for us, for Russia, the 9th of May is not a comedy show with a game of keyboards. For us, it is a holy day, because every family was affected. If we count the 27 million victims that the Soviet Union brought to the Victory Hall, then the RSFSR, today's Russian Federation, lost almost 70%. According to the documents, the RSFSR lost almost 70% in the post-war period. 69 and something. But if we count the total losses, how many will Russia lose? Almost 19 million people. Of course, for us, this is an event that affects every citizen of the Russian Federation, every member of our family. And we are not playing any games here. We proposed it. For 2 days, there was no reaction. And then, all of a sudden, there were some games about it. We are not playing these games. But since there was a proposal from the US President to hold an exchange, which we proposed on the 5th, you can ask Bortnikov, he won't hide it. We sent a list of 500 people. Then, of course, we welcomed it. And we were ready to do it. And we did it. We prolonged this truce for 2 more days, hoping to hold an exchange. Well, I hope that, in the end, we will do it. We have never been closed from negotiations. Never. It was not us who refused. They refused. European politicians put pressure on the leaders who gathered in Moscow and, in general, continue attempts to rewrite history, to overshadow the role of the Soviet Union in the victory over Nazism. How do you assess this activity, if I may say so, and what can it lead to for Europe? Thank you. Stupidity can lead to poverty. The stronger Russia is, the sooner it will go to nothing. This is the first point. The second point is why this is happening at all. I believe that this is a manifestation of, as strange as it may sound, the revanchism of the most globalist Western elites, which I have already mentioned. We will remember them later, but it is too late. What do I mean? I have already said, and we all know this, that everyone was counting on the rapid collapse of Russia. Within 6 months, everything was supposed to fall apart, according to them. Enterprises were supposed to get up. The banking system was supposed to stop working. Millions of people were supposed to be on the streets. By the way, we have the lowest unemployment rate in all countries, 20%, 2.2% so far. Everyone was counting on something to fall apart in Russia, to grab something. To put it simply, why did Finland join NATO? Did we have any territorial disputes with Finland? No. Everything was decided a long time ago. Nothing was needed. The leadership of Finland understood this perfectly well. Why did they join NATO? In the hope that everything would fall apart here. They are here, like here. They are already building the border along the sister river. I would make a certain gesture and say something, but since I come from a cultural capital, I will refrain. But I think that to a large extent, what is happening is dictated by the concepts of this kind. But now, when it becomes clear that everything is not so simple, that there are problems, that it is quite difficult to overcome them, it is better to look for ways to resume normal relations. It is better to move on to some agreements, mutually acceptable agreements. By the way, we have always built relations with Europe on the principles of mutual respect and consideration of interests. This is not an empty diplomatic combination. This is exactly what we did. They do not always talk to Europe like this. Today. And we only talked like this. Always. But this was not enough. Well, I hope that the realization that this was a wrong position has now been designated and will gain momentum and strength. And in the end, we will restore relations with many countries that today are trying to betray our relations. But the sooner this happens, the better, both for us and, in this case, for European countries.